Press.
William from Michigan is here, and he asked this question. I understand voting for Obama the first time. What would justify voting for him this time?
That would... It's not... You know what? Here's what I would say. Turns out Lincoln ain't running this year. So, you know, I think you got to look at it like, you know, you judge it, but I don't think it's a slam dunk either way. I think for people to say, like, Obama is the worst president in history, which I guess is your program.
No. I told you, I'm not an Obama basher.
I don't agree with that either. And I think there have been areas where he's done a very effective job in stabilizing certain things that had really fallen into catastrophic state with that economic crisis that was the worst since the Great Depression. And there are areas where I think he's disappointed people, but, you know, I don't know of a president that hasn't. And it's a choice between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, and that's how you'll make your judgment.
Leslie from Michigan, reduce or stop foreign aid with our deficit so high. Shouldn't aid to ourselves come first? If the USA becomes totally bankrupt, who would help us? What am I missing?
Well, it's true that under President Obama, foreign aid is almost doubled in 3 years, and most people don't know that, but we are so much. But we have to send money to certain countries to buy them, and we do. We send money and we buy them.
Daddy,
so,
can I have Peru?
That's not the big problem, foreign aid. It's a very, very small.
Yeah. But
the tax
problem.
That's symptomatic of it. The taxes that Stuart and I pay pretty much knock the foreign aid thing down. Go ahead.
Jennifer from Maryland writes, she's in the audience. Who is your political hero and why? John?
Yeah, right. I would say Robert Kennedy. I think he had a passion and a depth of belief and an optimism and a tenacity that I very much admired. And he was one of the first, when I was very young, one of the first people that I remember learning about. And, you know, maybe his death sort of left an indelible mark, but I felt that Robert Kennedy was a man of political integrity in that regard.
I can't believe you said that.
Why?
Because I'm a big Robert Kennedy fan.
Oh.
I got a book out, Killing Kennedy,
for
Robert Kennedy.
God's sake.
And Robert Kennedy is prominent in that book. And you see what he just said is true, unfortunately. But what about Fidel? I know you like him. I would say, for me, and I really admire Robert Kennedy, it would be Abraham Lincoln. And I have a book about Abraham. And Abraham Lincoln gave his life for his country.
Okay,
Abraham Lincoln, big 6'3" guy.
Olga.
Chopping down wood. And in 3 years,
Nuts. You're nuts, girl.
Over, he's aged 35 years. He carried the whole thing on his back, kept the Union together. Extraordinary individual. We need an Abraham Lincoln now in this country.
You know what? Here's a question that I think is right. Would an Abraham Lincoln in this day and age be an Abraham Lincoln, or would the tenacity of the 24-hour news cycle find a way to turn him into just some skinny guy with a beard?
In his day, Lincoln was the most hated man in the country. He didn't have the 24/7 drumbeat, but he couldn't go out. They were throwing stuff at him. Particularly when the North was not doing well in the war. So it was inside Lincoln, not outside. And we need somebody like that.
John from Minnesota emails in. Years ago, Walter Cronkite was called the most trusted man in America, to which news person, journalist, or reporter would, of course, need to accept
Himself exercising very strong.
That's not true, because I can do whatever I want. I never interfered.
You're a different animal.
No, I wasn't in the beginning. I wasn't in the beginning. The absolute best journalist ever on television, late Mike Wallace. Yes? Most honest, the guy was unbelievable. That's what I'm leaving.
Mike is here in the audience, and he asks this question. If you could see any American elected president, who would you choose, and why?
I'd say Clint Eastwood would have to be my guy.
Well, why don't we ask him? country is somehow carrying a flag of freedom, and the other part of the country is fundamentally undermining it. I think that's bullshit. The problem is
by the way, I have no idea what this says. Like, the problem with the discourse, he went to Harvard. I know. I had the same problem there. The problem with the discourse here is capitalism. That's the problem with it. The problem with the discourse situation in America is capitalism. This is you can make a lot of money by being an assassin. A lot of money. You no matter right wing or left wing. Right? You're a hater. And they just rip it up. And they get paid a lot of money. And that is coarsened everything. They're phonies. And capitalism drives them. There are people, Americans, who want to hear hate. And they hate, they hear it. And that is just blowing it all up. The rules on the internet, go listen to these comments. And after this program, I'm sure there'll be chat rooms about this. Where do you see the comment? Where do you see them? All right? And that, it's not coming back either. It's not going to get back. But we have to live with it. Freedom of speech.
Scott? Person watching on the internet from Canada, Scott, says, what's wrong with the national sales tax?
I like the national sales tax. But I target it to Medicare.
Press.
That's the way to fix that entitlement. You just say, we're going to pay 2%,
Press.
1.5%, and you got to lock it down. Or you can't be fixed in the sense that you have to elevate the age. That's, you know, you just have to. I mean, and all that. So you raise it, and then if you're wealthy, right? So I think we can massage that and get that under control. Do the 1.5% or 2% national sales tax, get the Medicare thing under control, and begin to bring down this horrible debt that is going to ruin this country. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Would you, here's what I would ask you. Would you take away Grover Norquist's pledge to never raise taxes? Because that's purely ideological.
Isn't he president twice?
Listen, dude's got, you know, a ton of legislators who have signed a pledge not to raise taxes. If the biggest problem we have in this country is the deficit, why is it that...
What are you asking me about Grover Norquist?
Really? He's irrelevant? He doesn't have any...
Is that on my radar screen? I mean,
oh, because he's got a pledge from like...
No, because he's just a guy. Why don't you ask me about Lenny out there selling bagels? He's just a guy. What do I care?
From Missouri, Tristan emails in.
Lenny might as well. Depends on the sandwiches.
Good day.
How can you support a presidential candidate when both sides have been proven to misquote, take things out of context, and sometimes blatantly make things up?
See, Time Magazine's got a great piece this week, a cover story, and they have both campaigns, and they tell you what they said, and it's all BS. So they all do it, unfortunately. You know, like you said, you only got those two guys. That's what you got.
What a note of optimism to go out on. Shit pile number one, shit pile number two. What do you know?
Michelle from Maryland is in the audience, and she says, would you consider switching jobs for a week?
Are you kidding me? I'd have to work in the same building as Colbert. There's no way I'm doing that.
By the way, we don't work in the same building. Like, Comedy Central's not the real world. We don't like share a room. But I would love to get Fox News every now and again, and it's nice because the Eye of Mordor is above the building. I mean, it's kind of funny. If you go through, whenever I walk through the building, little heads pop there. You know, it's like sort of like that scene in Indiana Jones when all those kid miners were working. And Indiana came and all the stuff like, Zahid? You know. But they really have that look in their eyes like, take us with you.
I for one, though, really like to see Stewart doing the factor, you know, in the beginning of the program when he, caution, the factor starts right now.
All I would say is the only way I would do it is for somebody kicking really hard in the nuts.
Kathleen from Maryland emails in, what do you...
I I think that's a beautiful pleat. I appreciate the fact that, you know, Yeti can move so fluidly. I appreciate,
He's fixated on the Yetis thing. It's the fourth time in the last week.
in all seriousness, I feel like